Waka Green Dragons. Huh. Hold on, let me do that shit over again, you feel me? For Waka GDs. I ain't talking about the gang though. Green Dragons, man. You feel me? Join the community. The goal is 10K before Corona ends. We're nearly at 1%. Bruh, nearly at 1%. That's crazy, bro. So, yeah, man. Today we're gonna react to Jubilee. I never done that, so I felt like I should react to a video that hits close. That's gonna be do all black men think the same. It's gonna be a long video. I'm not trying to pause too much. So let's just jump into this shit.
Hey good humans, before we start this episode, we've got a big announcement.
Alright.
We're gonna be having a
Are you tired of seeing this guy intro every single Jubilee video?
Damn, why you gotta do him like that?
6 Christians versus 1 atheist.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, if I didn't know, I don't really care about this first of all. But cis oh yeah, it's kinda weird. Cis means like normal. Like just a normal man. Normal woman, you're born a man, you are a man. You're born a woman, you are a woman. That's now you have a name for that. Was weird. But yeah. Either way, let's get it.
I can see that.
I know how this shit work. Skip the intro, my nigga. I can't even press anything. I'm trying to skip this shit. Okay.
I'm expected to have a big
Of course, cause you're black.
2, 1, go.
That's expected. You can't say you don't have that stigma. Like that's expected.
Nobody disagrees. Yo.
It's
Sounds
facts.
like
It's facts.
Stereotype. And we know that stereotypes aren't realistic, but I mean, personal encounters, I don't feel like there's leeway. I feel like, okay, that one we're keeping. Like that's what the general notion is.
I think it gets into the issue of positive and negative stereotypes and how people need to realize that there is no such thing, because what you do is you put people into a box where they're expected to live up to a standard. And I feel like it's over sexualizing black men. You
For
know,
real.
to want to date
Not
people
everybody's
more
blessed with a big dick. That's crazy.
physically that they can bring to you. And I know I've
So
talked to people.
the thing is, you're put into a setup if you don't have a big dick. Cause they expect a motherfucking 8-incher, and if you just pull up with a motherfucking 5 or a 6, what is average or above average, they ain't gonna be satisfied with that shit.
Who will be like, oh, you're lucky you're black, you have a big member. And I'm like, well, I have other things to offer too. Like, I'm well spoken, I have a good sense of humor, I'm well traveled. Like, you go straight to like what's underneath my zipper.
Yeah, I mean, that's been my experience. A lot of times, especially, you know, meeting different people, that's the expectation. And I just tell them, 2-inch Punisher, you know? Don't expect too much. I'm just joking, but it's I think a lot of people watch a lot of porn too, and that's where it comes from. Like when you watch a lot of porn, you see, you know, these mandingos and, you know, 10-inch monsters, and they expect that to be reality.
For
and
real.
A lot of times it's not, but that's the expectation that they have. So
So, our audience submit hot takes about this group specifically.
Okay.
And they are hot. So, black men cheat on their significant others far more than other races.
I disagree.
I'm just like, where is this study published? Did
fuck?
someone do some research?
That's
and
weird.
calculated numbers over a given period of time? I
The
just
reason
don't-
why I was going to be neutral is because I don't know the numbers. Like, I don't
That's
know.
what I'm
I don't
saying.
know
That's
if
why I'm
that's
like,
true
I
or not.
don't.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah. So I came this way because of the keyword far more. I was like, do black men cheat? In generally, like you're not apt to not cheat because of the color of your skin.
For
To
real.
describe this to race feels nefarious in a way that I feel like it was coming from a place of somebody that got cheated on by black men.
For real.
Black men cheat all the time. Come on, this doesn't even make sense.
Black men are attracted to big butts.
Is it? Do we agree? with
Not
that
all,
statement?
but I am for sure. You feel me?
Biologically innate to like black men to, you know.
Yeah, I have a homeboy. He likes titties. He's more of a titty man. Yeah, that's his thing. Most of my boys are ass men, but I know plenty of white boys that are also of the ass men. You feel me? So we ain't with the color. It's just what you prefer, bro. Not everything has to be about color.
Yes.
I think it ties into hip hop and the whole strip club scene right now. We are so far gone from like the natural aesthetics of just a natural person that right now it's all about who has the baddest ass. Who ass is 25 pounds with 2-pound legs. You know what I mean? Like that's that's hot for some reason, and I personally don't get it. I mean, it looks unnatural to me, like, you know, but I mean, a nice ass is just a nice ass.
Bro, black people are funny, and if you ever try and roast one of them, they will roast your ass so hard that you'll have no roast to rebuttal.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, black people are funny. They're the funniest people I know, cause they're honestly the funniest people I know. I ain't gonna say that we're gonna roast the fuck out of you, cause I can really roast like that.
Black people as a collective are funny. If you go
Yeah.
to Black Twitter, if you go to Black Instagram, Black Facebook, like you're going to laugh. So I think that in that aspect, that's why like that statement has so much truth in it, because you just it's like.
So I guess it's like the question is like, black people as a whole, are they funny? Or is like any black person gonna knock your ass off because he's super funny? Like, I think that's just the difference. Black people as a whole, like, yeah, they got jokes, you know, it goes back and forth, cool.
That's why I said as a collective.
But don't think that any black person you go to expect like a really good joke.
For real.
The N-word should stop being used by all races. 3, 2,
To be honest, it should.
go.
It should, to be honest.
I just think the N-word, when you look at the root of the word, even slaves would use it to describe other black people when accepting their supposed oppression. So I just think, when I think about that, I don't think you can do anything to erase the history and the blood that's been shed on that word. There are so many people who the last thing they heard was the N-word as they were being murdered. So I just, when I think about that, yes, I think the word should stop being used.
Personally, me, I feel like it kind of starts with us. The fact that we make it so cool within music and within like entertainment that it lets other people feel like they have a pass, or that it's okay because my favorite rapper said it, or I heard it here, or you guys say it all the time. How come I can't say it? But at the end of the day, it's black culture pain, and if anyone's going to be using it, it should only be us.
Yeah, it's true. Like, it's pain. That's real. Like, me personally, I don't really care if you use it. It depends how you say you use it. But I understand where other black people are coming from, that they don't like it when some other race uses it, because it comes from the pain of the word. It isn't really like, hey, yo, nigga, something we made it's positive, but it's like how to deal with best trauma stuff, shit.
That's it. You can't really own a word. I think, you know, we can own it in the sense where it's a black cultural thing, but the idea of where we kind of make it out to where we say like, oh, other people can't say it, I think that's more of like a insecurity within the black culture of not being able to hold power, because historically it's like, right, historically black people didn't have as much power, so we're trying to hold on to literally a word that only has meaning because we add meaning to it.
I mean, respectfully, I ain't trying to hear that, right? Like, I feel like the only reason it's policed so much, and I feel like the only reason we even have like this debate or this debacle over whether we can use it or not, is because we're black people. And I'm not one of those people that think everything is racist and all that, but in this specific instance, right, in several instances, women in many instances have reclaimed the word bitch to be a term of endearment. There are, in the 90s, there was heavier women reclaimed the word fat, obviously respelling and things like that, but I feel like in those instances, nobody bats an eye. Why is that understood? But with this, it's so confusing. Like, oh, I don't know if like, you know, when there are boundaries set, and that word is one of the boundaries that I think we have respectfully and rightfully set up for ourselves. So I don't want to, I'm not trying to hear the like, if we use it, why can't it? We do that all the time with a bunch of different things. And I don't think this should be one of the areas where we're like, yeah, let everybody see. Nah, I'm not.
Well, I think it goes back to where you're saying boundaries, because when you break down to inner communities where, you know, blacks and Asians, blacks and whites in hip hop culture, where there's like, it's 5 group of friends and their black friends don't care. They're like, say it. Like that happens. So it's like, we're having this broad conversation, and you know, I know all of us aren't trying to be the spokespeople for black people, right? But it's like, it's such a convoluted I guess topic, where it's like the expectations aren't clear to people depending where you're at. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast, like it's very unclear. That's what I think. I'm not arguing whether or not it's okay to say it or whether white people should say it. I'm just saying, if we don't want white people to say it, I think it needs to be very clear. And I think even in fact in this new age of our culture, I think we're seeing more people saying we don't want white people to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Homophobia is a big issue in the black community.
I don't know. People that I hang around with don't care about it. But that's again, I don't really have too many black friends. But the ones I do just accept people for who they are. So my family, my friends don't really care about it. I'm sure there are black people that hate it, but I don't see it in my world. So I'm gonna say I disagree.
3, 2,
But I know that
one.
it's out there.
A lot of us black men, we will rather be friends with the homie that, probably has a rape attached to his name than the homie that's part of the LGBTQ plus community. And
I don't think about that. I don't want to be friends with no rapist, my nigga. That's weird, bro.
I think that that's something that, we got to work on as people, because
Who is you friends with?
I don't understand the whole big phobia of, okay, what he decides to do in his free time or behind closed doors, why does that bother you so much? Why does that affect you? Like, why do you feel like it's such like the scum of the earth?
And I also think it comes from religion, because I don't want to get too controversial with that, but people are very religious, especially in the black community. Christians and when you talk about the Bible, they say homosexuality is a sin. So a lot of people have that ingrained in their mind. This is absolutely not right. And for a lot of people too, when they see a man, they want to see a manly man, and they associate that with being straight.
Heterosexual men have a fear that homosexual men will treat them how they treat women, if that makes sense. And so they're afraid of that treatment. And I'm on somewhat agree, because I'm rather torn. I think I've lived a life where I'm around very open-minded, inclusive people. So I'm not sure how big of an issue it is in the community, but I know that in the black church sphere, homosexuality is often made out to be the worst thing that you can be. There's almost nothing worse than being gay. And I think that's also where some of the homophobia comes from. We like to ignore all the other sins, all the other things that the Bible outlines that are not, holy, and then we just take homosexuality and make it the worst. Granted, the Bible says it's an abomination, I get that, but the Bible says any sin will send you to hell, so.
You can't be pro-black and date a white person.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
I think really the issue with this statement is, for me, if you are a stand-up person and you stand up on your morals and your character, it doesn't matter who you date. And I think a lot of the issue is a lot of people get into, interracial relationships, or they date white people and they forget who they are. And if you are pro-black, it doesn't matter if you're dating a black person, a white person, because you can date a white woman and a black woman and still not even be for the cause. So I really think it's up to the person if they stand on their morals or not.
I agree to a certain extent, but personally, I feel like if you're pro-black, you're pro-black for everything. Like, you're for the advancement of the race, you're for businesses, you're for everything black.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to understand how someone can be pro-black.
Thank you for saying bless you, bro. I appreciate you. You're a goat. By the way, this is a great time to subscribe, bro. We need 10K before Rona ends, bro. So yeah, I'm talking to y'all. Subscribe, my nigga. Support your boy. I would appreciate that hard of you. Yeah, let's continue.
Black and want so much for, the black culture and the black race, and then they're in a relationship with someone that doesn't represent that,
So are you saying that if you were black and you're pro-black, you cannot act on attraction to someone from another race?
Personally, I'm not pro-black, but in my mindset, like, I'm saying if you're pro-black, you wouldn't find someone that's not black attractive to you.
That's how I
attractive, but you
yeah.
wouldn't even want to cross that line and even engage
I get
in
him.
a relationship with them. you can have like, you know, like lust, like, hey, you know, she's an attractive white woman, but ideally you want black kids, you want black family,
Yeah.
you want your lineage to carry on.
I don't know. I feel like the question in itself kind of like low key negates the demographics of the country. I mean, black folks make up 13% of the country roughly, and a lot of the time we live in concentrations. So, you know what I'm saying? If you in Iowa, it's gonna be a little tough to find you like a black woman, especially somebody that might identify as pro-black with you. So I think it depends on what you do, not who you decide to be with.
My first thought response to that is like, what's the point of looking at people differently? It's like we get upset that people do it to us in generally, like looking at black people and judging them and stereotyping them and making assumptions about them. It's like, so on the flip side, why should we be doing that to other people regardless of who, you know, they're in a relationship, depending on the color of their skin?
I'm not gonna lie, I do. Like I look at people differently based on who they marry. Because dating, you know, you can be dating for fun. I feel like I look at people different based on who they marry. Like Jordan Peele, Childish Gambino, I feel like I can look at them and be like, I'm not looking down on them. I don't think of them negatively, but I'm like, oh, I see. They're like, oh, okay, I see. Like, because like black men that date white women, there's something different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what it is. Like you oh, okay, Childish Gambino, I can see that. Jordan Peele, okay, I can see that. I can't think of another example, but I feel like I can tell, like, okay, like that's cool, you know, I'm happy, you happy. It's no disrespect to them, but I see the difference.
I prefer a light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned partner. 3, 2,
I don't
1,
care.
go.
I don't care. I would be in the middle, bro. I don't care.
A light-skinned partner to a dark-skinned partner.
I don't play them colorism games over here.
All right, so
I disagree because I don't care.
Subconsciously for me, the reason why I feel that way is, you know, growing up, I was always, you know, bullied for my skin color. I always felt out of place. You know, I was always told I'm not black enough. And when you constantly hear that and you get beat down with that, and you know, you doubt yourself. And like I said, I grew up in a broken home. I grew up in a foster care system, so it took me a long time to figure out myself. And for a lot of times, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I used to hate the way I looked. I was like, I don't like being dark skinned. I want to be light. And I'm just being honest, but now I'm more comfortable with myself.
I guess I have a question. Do you think it's because you look at a potential partner as lighter skinned so that your, you know, potential children or so would be lighter skinned so they don't have to go through what you feel like you went through?
Nah, you know, at the end of the day for me, I'll marry whoever I seem fit. So it really doesn't, to me, matter about the skin color, but I will admit subconsciously I do think, you know, when I see a light-skinned woman, I actually, you know, look a little longer, or I might linger a little longer, or be a little more interested, just because of, you know, that consciousness that I had growing up. So it's not something that I say that dark-skinned women are far unsuperior or light-skinned women are more superior. It's just because of the constant beat down and the constant hatred about me being dark-skinned and the way I was treated, that subconsciously I do think that way.
Do you feel like you have some sort of like self-hatred because of that?
Yeah, well, not anymore, because it took me a long time. I mean, this started happening, you know, like I said, when I was 6, when I got in foster care. So, but now I'm more comfortable with looking at myself. I'm a good-looking,
You look like a yachty.
chocolate milk, so, you know.
I have a question. Like, do you at all feel like you become the person that bullied you by then having this preference toward lighter-skinned people as opposed to someone that would look like you?
I will admit, yes. I will admit that, and you know, like I said, we just shooting a realism. So I do agree with that, yeah. And I think that's why now I'm focusing on myself, and you know, being a part of this discussion is very important to me, because I'm starting to, you know, realize that prejudice needs to go. And I see this a lot in the entertainment industry now, where, you know, they want a black woman, but they want your complexion. They want that light skin, that look like
Beyonce's.
between the white family and the black family.
Beyonce's dad said the reason why you're so successful, why you made it out of the others, is because you're white, because you're like, you're not too dark, type shit. That's crazy.
Because I know there's a lot of people who feel that way too, but they don't want to admit to it, or they don't want to express it, and, you know, be rejected. So I mean, you see it in the media too, so I think that plays a big part in that too.
I currently go to therapy. 3,
No.
2, 1, go.
Me, my girlfriend's my therapist, but she don't like that. So I'm thinking about going fairly soon just to speak my mind, because I feel like there's a lot of things that, you know, everything's cool up front, but everyone has like something that's just like digging at them somewhat internally that, you know, may hinder them in some sort of way, you know. And I feel like, you know, if you have that type of feeling, like, you should go.
Yeah, therapy can be going to the beach or like going out to eat or doing something that relaxes you. So
Physical therapy, going to
Hold
gyms.
on, hold on. we have to be able to draw a line.
I know what I'm saying. It's open to interpretation. I'm here
Well,
because
yeah.
I took it as like sitting in front of a therapist, someone licensed to do this. Do I do that? No. Do I find other avenues to relieve stress or whatever? Yes.
But you can't
Okay.
mix up self-care with therapy.
Okay,
It's
maybe that's
two
what I'm
different
doing.
things. Yeah. I've been in therapy for quite some time, personal therapy, just for myself, just issues that I have internally that I speak with someone with on a professional level. I don't think therapy is literally the best thing you can possibly do.
For me, I find therapy in my faith, you know, and I know there are a lot of people who they look at like, you know, the Christian church specifically and might not adhere to that, but I think in recent years, the church has been adding more professionalism to what therapy means.
Having these conversations, you know, for some reason, it makes you feel like of less of a man, because when we talk about therapy, you know, people like, really? You going to therapy? But when you think about it, that's why a lot of people have anger issues. That's why a lot of black men have anger issues, because, you know, they grow up
Okay,
a certain
Josh.
way, or they face a lot of challenges and they don't know how to express it. So the first thing they do is they take it out on you or their girlfriend or their mom, and they don't have someone or an outlet to express it. So I think we need to normalize going to therapy and not pushing it off as a white thing. We need it. You know, we need healing, and we need somebody to talk to us.
I think healing trauma
For real.
is going to help black people progress instead of just getting more trauma piling on top of each other. And in a lot of ways, that does come into an aspect of personal responsibility, because it's like my issues with my dad at a certain point has nothing to do with him anymore. At a certain point, it has to do with me and how I process it. And I have to go from, do I want to get angry every time I'm in the same room as him, or do I want to be able to walk in the same room as him and not have that reaction? And that was what I processed in my head when I was going through that therapy.
My father was present in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah, he was.
3,
Yes.
2, 1, go.
Not to jump into this one, like I absolutely love my dad. I'm even getting a little emotional thinking about my dad. My dad's amazing. My dad was there for me in every way, shape, or form, every facet, every way that he could be there for me and more. He was there for me. He was there to pick me up from school. He was there at my soccer games, my track meets. He was my coach for soccer one year. My dad taught me everything that I know almost. He is who I model my personality after. He is who I aspire to be. I don't think I could have had a better father. It's almost why I'm discouraged to have kids, because I feel the pressure to live up to the example that he set for me. So he was there, still is.
I say somewhat disagree, because I ended up being put in foster care when I was 6 years old with a couple of my younger brothers, and I remember, I don't remember what my dad looks like, but I do remember he passed away when I was around 7 or 8. So I can't really fault him for that, but you know, my mom, she was widowed, so she lost her husband, and she decided to take care of us. And I don't think my life would be any different. I don't regret not having a dad, but sometimes I do wonder, you know, secretly, you know, what life would have been like if I had that fatherly figure in my life. And I think that's another stereotype, that, you know, black men don't have their fathers in their life, and it's good to see, you know, a lot of y'all over there.
For me, my dad was not as present as he could have been as a typical older Belizean dude. Their culture is just very different from American culture. It's very passive aggressive. I remember times being young and I would question my mom all the time, like, hey, like, you know, why is he not around? Why is he not there? And, you know, she did the best she could as a single mother. Now I can say my dad is very present in my life. However, I feel like our relationship is very, like, financial based, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I don't have a real connection with my father. Like, he's there for me if I need something, like if I need to, like, if I want this, if I want that, like he's always there for me, like money wise, but I feel like I'm still like desiring for that real connection, like how you mentioned how you have that mental connection with your father. Like I feel like I don't have that. So that kind of puts a desire into me to where I'm desperate now to be a father. Not desperate, but I'm desperate to be a father, that I want to do it right and give the things and, you know, make sure that I nurture my kid more than just the money aspect of things. Like I want to be there, you know, and always possible. I kind of feel like now I kind of just suppress it and try to ignore it because he's here now, which I definitely feel like I shouldn't do.
I think that it's never too late to mend a relationship. It's never too late to rewrite the story. I mean, you can't go back in time and change anything, but you can definitely mend the relationship. Because although I have a good relationship with my father, relationships are constant maintenance and their work. And I know that parents can be toxic too. They can break your heart more than anyone else can. I'm not saying that your dad did. But maybe you should start today. Give him a call, invite him out for a coffee. You know, start somewhere.
Father's Day coming up, dog.
And that is officially a wrap.
Hey!
Alright.
We got you guys some merch.
Let me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I like this video. Let me just. Let's do the thumbnail real quick, you feel me? Alright, should be cool, but bro, I want to appreciate every single one of you that watched this video today. Yeah, the all black men think the same. I say no. Yeah, I have homeboys we think very alike. Others I think very different from. But they don't matter. Nor all the motherfucking I forgot the words. I forgot the words. I can't speak. The judgmental things or some shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to say. But it's been DarraJG. GDs, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, share the video, because we need 10K before Corona ends. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Goodbye.